pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Yvonne Park. Nate Palmer.
Here.
Keith Butcher.
Here.
Don Chase.
Here.
And Sarah Romano is absent.
I'm going to turn this meeting over to Chuck Malcolm from Hodge & Russ.
Thank you, Supervisor Park and members of the board. Tonight is for the consideration the Town Board's secret findings and decision with respect to the Ball Hill project, which is the procedure that is following the decision that was issued by Justice Dillon in the McGraw matter. Tonight there are 3 resolutions pending before the board. I'll explain each one of them just in a minute, but for members of the audience, there are copies of those documents in the front row if anybody wants to grab one and take a look at them. They've also been posted to the website in advance of the meeting. So just as a recap procedurally where things stand with respect to the review of this project, following Justice Dillon's, so let me back up even further. In 2018, Ball Hill submitted an application to the town to amend their approvals for the wind energy facility. And the application principally sought the following changes. 1, to increase the height of the turbines to 599 feet. The second was to underground a previously above ground Gentile line, and to make some minor adjustments with respect to the locations of a couple of turbines. In addition, as part of the request was an increase in the setbacks in the wind facilities law. That matter was reviewed extensively by the board in 2018 and culminated in a negative declaration of a significance under seeker, which determined that there were no significant adverse environmental impacts related to the project. If you'll recall, the town board's decision at that time was that the amendments to the project actually mitigated impacts further. While it was true that the taller turbines would increase the project's visibility by a certain percentage, the removal of the above-ground Gentile line would have an overall positive visual impact with respect to the project changes, as well as the undergrounding of the Gentile line would avoid or minimize impacts with respect to wetlands. That decision was challenged in an Article 78 proceeding, and Justice Dillon issued a decision that there were a couple of impacts that the judge found were not discussed in the record. The board obviously disagreed with that analysis and has appealed that determination, but nonetheless the board in July adopted a resolution determining to complete the seeker process anew to address those impacts and more that the judge identified in his decision. So going back to earlier this year, from July on, the town board issued a positive declaration of significance in light of the decision in the McGraw matter. That positive declaration determined that scoping would not be conducted because under the seeker regulations, scoping is not required for a supplemental. And the board adopted as the scope for the supplemental the issues identified in the decision by Justice Dillon. So the applicant was directed to complete a draft supplemental environmental impact statement with respect to those issues. The applicant did that and also addressed all of the potential impacts with respect to the project, not just the issues that were addressed in the court's decision. That draft environmental impact statement was subjected to public comment, and a public hearing was held on that statement. There were public comments received and compiled. Those comments were responded to and addressed in the final supplemental environmental impact statement that this board issued earlier this month. By law, when you issue the final environmental impact statement, a 10-day period has to elapse before the board can take any further action and make its seeker findings. That period has elapsed. This special meeting was called for the purpose of considering the seeker finding statement with respect to this project following the issuance of the supplemental final environmental impact statement. So this is part of the amended application and is part of going back and redoing everything over again. There are essentially 4 items for discussion and deliberation. There are the seeker findings. There is the amendment to the special use permit application. There's the local law that amends the text of the wind energy facilities law, and there's the local law that amends the wind overlay map. All these decisions were previously made by the town board last year, pursuant after the negative declaration was issued. Today, going through the seeker process again and addressing those issues referenced by the court decision, those same determinations are pending before this board now. So the first document is the thicker one. And this actually has to be done first before the board can do anything, because seeker has to be completed before a decision is made with respect to the amended application. And the seeker regulations also allow you to combine your seeker findings with the determination. So here before the board is a proposed resolution adopting seeker findings and a decision with respect to the Ball Hill Wind Energy Project. This document discusses the project changes that were a part of the 2008 amended application. It analyzes the impacts, taking into account the record material that was developed by the town board as part of the supplemental draft environmental impact statement and the final supplemental environmental impact statement. The resolution notes the procedural history, that the public comment was held, that we've gone through this process from July until now. It certifies that seeker has been complied with respect to this decision, directs the town staff to disseminate these seeker findings to the other involved agencies, which is a requirement once it's adopted, provides that the statement of findings will be on the project website, which they've already been placed on the website. And with that, with respect to the seeker findings and decision, a motion would be in order to adopt the resolution as drafted.
Do I have someone to make the motion?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Roll call? Roll call vote?
Yeah.
Yvonne Park,
Yes.
Nate Palmer,
Yes.
Keith Butcher,
Yes.
Don Chase,
Yes.
all votes being cast as ayes.
With respect to the next matter before the board, this is the proposed resolution adopting local law number 2 of 2019. These are the text amendments to the town's wind energy facility law. Outlined, a change in the law was requested as part of the amended application, increasing the setbacks and increasing the permissible tower height. Now that seeker's done, the board is in a position to act on this. The resolution spells out the procedural history, the fact that seeker has been completed, and that a decision is in order if the board chooses to make such a determination. And with that, a motion would be in order to adopt the resolution adopting local law number 2 of 2019 as presented.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Aye.
Roll call, Yvonne Park,
Yes.
Nate Palmer,
Yes.
Keith Butcher,
Yes.
Don Chase,
Yes.
all votes being cast as ayes.
Carried.
The next resolution before the board is a resolution to adopt local law number 3 of 2019. This is the local law that provides for the minor adjustments to the already approved wind energy overlay district to accommodate the project modifications. If you look at the first page, it recounts the procedural history, notes that seeker has been completed. This local law essentially just amends the map, and the amended map is affixed to the back of the local law. And with that, a motion would be in order to approve the resolution adopting local law number 3 of 2019 as presented.
I make the motion. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
All in favor? Oh, no, go ahead. Roll call.
Roll call, Yvonne Park.
Yes.
Nathan Palmer.
Yeah.
Keith Butcher.
Yes.
Don Chase.
Yes.
All votes being cast.
Motion carried.
Supervisor Park, that concludes the matters on the agenda with respect to the Ball Hill project.
I'm ready to
Thank you.
look at anyway. Thank you for coming.
Just want to thank you all for your commitment and leadership on this. It's been a long road, and we'll do the best job we can for you. And but thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and best of luck next Tuesday.
You want the way this faded?